what's going on there is this thing that hopefully resonates with anyone who's ever had that feeling of, maybe I'm not doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. Maybe there's something more out there for me. And how hard that can be, because that brings change. And change leads to growth, but change can be hard. And that's what Frozen 2 is all about. There's this voice that's been calling her, and it's actually using an old ancient shepherdess technique called kuning, spelled Kulning.
It's a Scandinavian thing.
And it's sort of a and that is how they used to call their cattle home. Like each cattle has its own sound, and that shepherdesses would call, and only their cattle would call. You can't really answer that because there's so many hours of just talking about story and character. I mean, years really, before you get to the moment where the story is locked enough that you're like, there's a moment, her powers have come out, she's up on the top of the hill, let's write that song. That takes like a year of conversation.
But that said, that song probably took us like 2 days.
Yeah.
It all comes from the story and the characters. We work in collaboration with Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck, who are two of the most amazing storytellers at Disney, and we're really lucky to do that. And we're lucky to get to keep doing it with the same characters that we love, and get to find new moments that come from within the characters, stories that are innate to these characters. And Frozen 2 is exactly that. It's a continuation of Frozen 1. It's like...
right, we're thinking of it as sort of Frozen 1 is Act 1. Frozen 2 is Act 2 of a bigger musical. And so Frozen 2 is the culmination of Frozen 1. Like with Let It Go, you've got Elsa finally letting her powers out, finally starting to accept herself. And then she's accepted by the kingdom through the love of her sister. Now we have questions in Act 2 of, why does she have these powers? What are these powers meant for? And that is where we start to pick up. And that is also there's a lot of emotions to sing from there. There's a mystery to solve, but there's also acceptance of a voice inside of you telling you you're not where you're meant to be.
She's hearing a voice, and only she can hear it. And this voice comes from the past. It's part of the whole mystery, and the voice sounds like this.
Now Bobby's gonna take over. And in the case of the Olaf song, we were feeling very like stuck in an enchanted forest we couldn't get out of, that we couldn't make sense of, because these stories are hard. Certain story points will get locked, while others are very, very in flux and vague. And you know that there's this deadline coming, and you keep telling yourself, okay, trust the process, trust your collaborators. In 6 months, this will all be over and it'll all be solved. Even though you don't know how to solve it then. I was skating to try and self-soothe. I was ice skating around, and I thought, oh, this will all make sense when I'm older. That's what Olaf can sing. And I ran to the ice skating rental guy, and I said, do you have a pen and paper? And I would like do a lap and then write a line, and then do a lap and write a line. And I brought it back to Bobby.
He's got so much anxiety because he cannot process the craziness that's going on around him in the forest, that the song itself is almost like a calm blue ocean kind of mantra that he's self-soothing with.
Oh yeah. No. Oh, we were there. We got to spend a whole day in the recording studio. The sweetest story about Jonathan is that we sent it to him as soon as we had it mixed, and he was with his mom in the car. He FaceTimed us, and he was like, I pulled over because we were listening to the car, and he was sobbing, and he was like, I'm sobbing, and my mom's sobbing, and this is so fantastic. Thank you for writing me a Disney song. It was so nice. What's going on there is this thing that hopefully resonates with anyone who's ever had that feeling of, maybe I'm not doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. Maybe there's something more out there for me. And how hard that can be, because that brings change. And change leads to growth, but change can be hard. And that's what Frozen 2 is all about.